Welcome back to another episode of Lemon Cake. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Amber.
And we have been chatting recently about just lemon cake itself was a topic in one of our recent episodes. And we were talking about how we don't wish these situations on anyone. We don't wish this upon ourselves or our kids. But we are living the life of medical moms with medically complex kids. And it is what it is. So we're choosing to find joy in all of that. So today we wanted to quickly go through a couple of things that we have talked about are actually ways that our kids have made our lives better. So we narrowed it down to 6 to keep this short and sweet. And I bet you guys will be able to relate with a lot of these, whether it is parenting medically complex kids yourself, going through a situation personally, medically or not. I think these are ways that can help everybody. So take it away.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with number 1. And the first one is it's really taught us to be more empathetic, not only to others and their situations, but even to our own family members. I think my husband jokes all the time that I lack empathy. And I'm like, I feel like I'm a really empathetic person, but I think maybe it's towards him because I'm like, you got this. You're the head of the household.
Yep.
Handle it.
The expectations are different.
Yeah, so I set my expectations higher for him. So sorry, honey. But I do feel like parenting our children with these diagnoses has made us more empathetic people.
Absolutely.
In general.
Yeah. When we were living in the hospital with Kenan, I remember walking the hallways of the hospital and going, you know what? I've always felt sympathy towards people that had their children at Nationwide or any other hospital. I felt sympathy towards people, but I didn't understand it. And so when you walk through something yourself, I think your empathy increases and you're able to just connect and understand where people are at a lot better. So that's a blessing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So number 2 is also patience. I think they kind of go hand in hand. Along with understanding situations, you kind of gain a greater sense of patience with that, whether it's for yourself or your children. I know just yesterday, working with my kids, we were potty training Wes, and the level of patience that I had to have with that child, and then with Kenan in the process too, it was just different. I actually stepped back and was like, I think old me would have been really upset and rigid and detailed, and this has given me such a different perspective to slow down and step back and understand what's happening. How are they thinking? How can we work through this together?
Also, patience for your family members, patience for other people who are in your life, friends, people at your church who just don't maybe understand exactly what you're going through and could potentially say things that they don't mean to be offensive or, make you feel some type of way, but being patient and knowing that they don't maybe necessarily mean it that way. Patience for medical professionals.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that can be seen across the board in multiple ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all need more patience. Let's be real.
Yeah. Patience, grace, all of it.
And then number 3 is just valuing each moment. I feel like you're doing that at a completely different level, and you're realizing that if the reality is maybe someone has lost a child, or you could potentially outlive your child. And those kind of things can weigh so heavy on you that your priorities kind of change. And then you realize that each moment is truly a gift. Each moment, even the wild potty training
we're both living through that right now.
We're both attempting it. I was going to say, she said try that with Wes and was texting me, and I'm like, yeah, we've been trying that with Cameron. We started it 3 months ago. We are nowhere near. And so I feel like you start to value those times because you're like, wow, I don't know when it's the last, or you also just don't know when it could change and look different. So you learn to just value it and what it is right in that moment.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. What is number 4? Learn to prioritize things in a different way. Yeah. Prioritize.
So I feel like prioritizing things it's not always been my strong suit. I've always struggled with having all these ideas and trying to figure out what needs to happen first, just in life in general. And I feel like having a child with medically complex needs has made me realize I need to prioritize Jesus, my faith, my family, and then maybe his medical specific needs, and then everything else falls in line beyond
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I totally understand what you mean. Actually, it's so funny because I am a planner.
Mm-hmm.
I love lists, but I will make the biggest list ever that is completely unreasonable.
Right.
And I heard a long time ago from John Maxwell to make your list and then star your top 3 and also know within those top 3 which is the most important thing. So if you were only to get one thing done that day, what would it be?
Right.
And then if you could get 3 done, what would they be? Yesterday, when I made my list, I actually looked at the list that I like some to-dos that I'd been working on accomplishing prior to that.
Yeah.
And normally I copy things over and I've got this whole plan. Yesterday on my note, I just wrote, nothing else matters unless you prioritize Bible time and your family. Everything else will fall into place. Like that was my
Right.
to-do list.
Right.
As a reminder that everything else will fall into
Right.
place. And it is when you are sitting in the hospital with your child or you watch somebody else go through something with theirs, and as parents, like we can really only speak to that situation.
Right,
Maybe
right.
it's you going through something.
Yeah.
You realize when life is precious and it's put in perspective, your priorities change
100%.
really fast.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like the laundry will get done if it gets done.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then you think about that long list that you had and you just end up going in the hospital, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And you get
You
back
don't
to
even
it.
care if your shoes match.
Right, exactly. And you get back to it and you rewrite the list and you reprioritize it anyway. So you
Yep.
get really good at prioritizing.
Absolutely.
Number 5.
Perspective.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
sure. Number 5 we had is just being more confident in trusting our intuition. I remember being like a new mom and maybe my situation and ours is a little different because our first kid was one with these different diagnoses. But I remember being like, I have no idea what to do with this kid. And everyone's like, you're a mom, like you'll learn, you'll trust your intuition. And sometimes I was like, I have no idea. But I do feel like the more that I've learned about Kai and his situation and like what he needs, I've been more confident in like standing up for what he needs.
Absolutely.
And fighting for what he needs and doing that, advocating, and just trusting that my only reason for doing it is my intuition, my gut tells me otherwise.
Absolutely.
Like, and I feel like I've been able to carry that over into other things in life. So I'm like, okay, that has taught me to be confident in what my gut's telling me.
Yeah.
In
I can
general.
echo all of that.
Yeah.
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 What's number 6?
Number 6 is prioritizing our health.
Oh, this is a trigger.
This is a trigger. And I only thought this one because I continue to come back to Kai is for me physically a lot of work.
Yes.
And not walking in a wheelchair is going to be needing his diapers changed for only God, truthfully, knows how long.
Right.
Maybe forever. And picking him in and up out of his wheelchair and things like that. But then I thought about that in context of even just like you taking care of Kenan. Like, we want to be here and be the best version of ourselves to be able to give what they need from
Absolutely.
us as caregivers.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. And now, don't get me wrong, I am nowhere near have that one mastered or figured out because, again, that priority list was the first thing to go. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to work out. But even if it's just trying to drink more water and eat better and focusing on that, then, you know, the other stuff might fall into line. But, you know, coming in, focusing on our health, that maybe if I didn't have Kai, I would not say I need to do that and make that more of a priority.
Well, I think it goes hand in hand, too, with the last 2 points that we talked about, which was prioritizing and just understanding and valuing every moment.
Right.
Because when, like, I had Wesley when I was 39, I had Kenan at 33, so I'm like a geriatric mom, whatever.
Yep.
So
Gotta
silly.
love it.
Yeah. But being a little bit older, I realized that I will be older when my kids still are going to need me very present.
Right.
That will give you some perspective right there.
Uh-huh.
And Amber's completely right on all of those things. When you think about, so I think it's really hard for moms sometimes to prioritize our health in general, unless that's something that you already just love doing. And to be honest, like, we're both athletes.
Yeah.
We love being fit and being active.
Right.
But finding the time for that for ourselves is very difficult once you have kids. And I think a lot of moms run into this.
Absolutely.
What has really motivated me lately, though, is thinking about them and their future and wanting to be very present mentally and physically for it. And then in addition to that, just, you know, the Bible tells us that our body is our temple. And we need to take care of it. So yeah, we've learned a lot through these little guys. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So I think that I hope that you're able to take something away from this. These were the things that we felt were the most prevalent as far as what our children have really taught us.
Yeah.
So
let us know what your kids have taught you.
Yeah, what have your kids taught you? So thanks so much for listening, and we hope you join us next time for Lemon Cake. Check in.
Yeah.
Check.